Hello.
So recap of directors. We also talked about the essence of the Black community, growing it back. Tuesday night, but we're back, and we're about to bring you a episode that's so heavily in the Black community. And that episode is this is the episode of the levels of diabetes, and how can we overcome the obstacle that's been hurting us in the Black community so much. You know, as a Black man, I can tell you that it's hereditary in my family, and a lot of men in my family suffer with diabetes, and as well as a lot of females too. So it just Hello, we're live. We're back again. Yours truly, Jacob Toombs, aka King Jacob, with the lovely Sophie Graham. So sorry about that, folks. Having a little technical difficulty. So tonight we're going to be discussing uh, the levels of that disease called diabetes, and it's so heavy in our community. And so, with that being said, I'll let our special guest introduce herself, and she gets familiar with the audience, and she tell you what she's about, what she's doing, and how she plans to implement this growth and this education in the community. All right, Ms. Graham, you have the floor.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Sophia Graham. I am a Charlotte native, and thankfully, no, I'm not currently living with diabetes, but I had the fortune of losing a friend and previous family members from diabetes. So it just inspired me to do the necessary research and trying to find ways that people of color can better deal with conquering this issue that is killing a lot of us. Don't know, but it's like the number one death in the death cause in America. So it's almost like a hidden secret, but it's taking over. It's killing a lot of our kids, and from the elderly to the kids. That's how deadly this issue that we have. So after doing some targeted research on African herbs or just herbs that complement the black body or a person of color's body, doing the research and putting recipes together, putting my own personal recipes together to develop ways that people can it can help them conquer their diabetes. It can help them revert. I can't use the word reverse, but it will help them. If you already have diabetes, it'll help a person as well as it'll help a person with prevention, because I personally believe almost any human body can possibly get diabetes. From diabetes 1 and diabetes 2, there's two different types. But if you are constantly eating foods that do not agree with your body or your DNA makeup, it's going to cause an imbalance, and which will develop disease. They just put a name on it and called it diabetes. So that's what I'm on, and I just want to get the message out to people. So just to talk briefly about my products, some of the things that recipes that I have developed different type of teas, because the for me personally, I think the main goal is to change your eating habits and your living habits. That is the main goal. But unfortunately, I ran into so many roadblocks where a lot of people just so stubborn and they don't want to change, and a lot is due because this is how they were raised. This is just all they know, and I understand that. So I started losing a lot of people when I was implementing change. So a lot of my products, my teas and my capsules, you don't necessarily. I'm not promoting that you keep, a person keep living a reckless life or keep eating recklessly, but if you just refuse to stop, I've developed products that will help you. So like on those days, and I even have those days that I slip up where I wanna maybe I have I'm a little obsessed with French fries, so maybe some days I'll have a little too many French fries, and I'll just drink some tea to help balance out my insulin level, to help my body process and break down the sugars and the starch. So my plan is just to get the word out and let people know in a convenient and easy and detailed way on ways to help you prevent and help you maintain if you already have it.
Thank you for that. Now,
I
with
probably was
that
all over
being
the place,
said,
but
um, if you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. This is a very open discussion, and with that being said, now, as far as my first question to you, is why is diabetes so heavy in the black community, and why is it not more of a topic of discussion in the community?
Well, I can to when it gets back and start with the first question, why I personally believe why it's so heavy in the black community and Hispanic community and the Asian community. I would say people of color, and that's nothing against Caucasians or people that are not of color because they deal with type 1 diabetes where their body is not producing enough insulin and they have to eat more sugars and starch. So, but then when it comes to the community of color, their blood is just sensitive to the food that is provided in America. If you ever let's see, know a foreigner and be around a foreigner, if they stick to their diet, what they're used to eating, more than likely they won't develop diabetes because they don't adapt to the American ways. But a lot of people of color just have really bad eating ways, and it comes from tradition of the classic slavery food, which that's just my personal opinion, and it's just killing our body. So if we can just break the habit of our eating choices, I think that will heal our community dramatically. So that's my personal belief on why people of color suffer with diabetes so heavily. It's because of the food that we're eating. It's not designed for us because our bloodline is sensitive and not meant to ingest this type of food. So I don't know if we lost them.
All right. So on with that being said, now I would like to say that controlling your diet when you're having that, that blood sugar problem and when you are diabetic, what is the best way for one to control that diet? And how disciplined do they need to be to control their diet?
When you say control, what do you mean?
As far as, especially when you're diabetic,
Okay. I'm not exactly sure what he meant by control, but I would say when it comes to diet, it is starch, sugar, and meat. Starch, sugar, and meat, or I say MSS or SSM, SMS. Those three things are the three things that we should not eat. I'm not going to say not eat 100% because we do need a little bit of starch. We do need a little bit of sugar. We don't need any meat, but we do need a little bit just to energize and fuel our body for functioning. But those are the three things that we should eliminate from our diet as much as possible. Some people, especially older people, it's hard for them to eliminate meat because they've been eating it for so long. And I just recommend that, like the portion that we have on our vegetables, the size that we have our vegetables, let that be the size of your meat and try to do lean meats, but let your meats be a small portion like a vegetable size would normally be, and let vegetables fill up your plate is what I recommend more. So definitely starch, sugar, and meat. Those are the three of the highest acidic foods that will not only cause diabetes, it will just wreak havoc on your body and just start a domino effect of all types of. I didn't catch you. I think I answered your question about control. I'm not sure.
Right, right. So, with controlling that blood sugar in your diet, your mindset has to change, correct? And the way you navigate through life when it comes to, changing that mindset has to be you have to have an open mind about your health in order to change the diet, correct?
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. All starts in your mind. And I hate to be blunt sometimes with people, but it's just about live or die. In a lot of ways, it's like it's up to you whether you have to put up that fight. It's not going to be easy because this is how we've been eating for so long. But it definitely takes mental strength to fight through. But it's worth it if you want to fight for your life and for your family's life.
Hey Sophie, how are you? Hey King, can you guys hear me?
Well, hello, welcome,
Yes.
welcome.
Hey,
Yes, we can
I'm
hear you.
gonna.
We can hear you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, and I know this is near and dear to you. Right, welcome. So I know this is near and dear to you, Angelique, because the discussions that we've had, and so I'm gonna just let you chime in for a second to definitely um ask some questions and try to get some insight because that's a heavy discussion in our Black community. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you go ahead and chime in, and I do thank you for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, Sophie, that beautiful face of yours, I can't really see it, my love. Can you angle your camera a little bit down so I can see you
Okay, my
better?
camera, it's really not, is that better? It's really not that good. I'm trying to angle it.
Yeah,
Is that
I'm just trying to see
is
your
that a
face a
little
little bit.
better?
But yes, yes, that is a little bit better. We can't really see your mouth that well, but let me tell you. Um,
I'm sorry about
so I'm
that. Okay.
Angelique, and I'm a part
Okay.
of the
I'm
same
sorry about
podcast
that.
team. That's okay. I'm a part of the same podcast team as
Hello.
King Jake. Hey,
Okay.
and so I wanted to jump in and join and kind of participate in the
Mhm.
conversation. Some of the things you were saying were very interesting to me. I seem to have quite a few people in my family
Mhm.
who
Mhm.
deal with diabetes. My dad is at the top of the list. And the interesting thing, my dad was recently living with me,
Mhm.
and he was dealing with a lot of issues with his diabetes, a lot of
Mhm.
complications. We weren't managing it very well, and got it back under control. But before all of that, it
Mhm.
created what was called a mini stroke, a TIA. His sugar had gotten really out of control. And so it was
Mhm.
really difficult. So, long story
Mhm.
short, now he's dealing with dementia. And they think that that was had to do with the hardening or something about the vessels
Yeah.
as a result of it. So I guess the first thing is I'm
Mhm.
saying all that to say this. It appears to me that people view diabetes as a single thing and not really understanding how it can have such long-term impacts on so many other aspects of your health. And so I just wanted to, if you could just weigh in on that, just kind of the
Yes.
bigger picture of how diabetes is a thing, but it really can cause so many other issues if it's not controlled.
Well, I personally think, and I just want to start by saying I did not go to school for this. I did not have a
No, you're
degree in
fine. I
this,
know.
but this is just from my personal research. And what I personally think is with okay. And what I personally think is when it comes to sugars, that's why I was saying earlier about sugar, starch, and meats. Those are three of the highest acidic things. And when we eat acidic food on a daily basis, even if it was years ago and we stopped, it takes years to really work our body. But the acid, the acidity, it sits on your blood vessel. It builds plaques in your blood vessels on your skeletal system. That's where a lot of people get arthritis from. So it just eats away at your body. This is just once again from my personal research and
Sure, sure.
causes damage on all of your organs, your main function organs in you. So it comes from the sugar. It comes from the sugar, the starch, and the meat, and medications can cause it, and stress can cause it. It's just imbalance of the body, and it's not easy to balance the body. It takes a lot of patience, and I say process of elimination helps. Like really take the time to study and learn your body. I personally think disease is just a summary of a name that they put on everything, but it's not really diabetes. It's an imbalance of your body. And when we take the time to see what we're ingesting, because that's what's causing the diabetes, is what we're ingesting. It's not something that's I personally think it's not something that's just magically floating in the air. We have to learn that our bodies are essential. It's not designed to deal with this American lifestyle. Even the lifestyle, this 9 to 5 work lifestyle, that type of stress can wreak havoc on your body. So once we learn, take the time out to learn our body and really be mindful of what we putting in, that's when we stop the problem. But it's bigger than diabetes. They just summed it up and gave it a word. That's what I
I see.
personally think.
So if we took a step back and we said, all right, our bodies need certain things and it doesn't need other
Mm-hmm.
certain things. We talked about sugar and the starches and how your body processes those things.
Mm-hmm.
So if we take a step back and you were to say, all right, clean slate, start over. Here's what you should
Mm-hmm.
put into your body. Here's how we never get to this place called diabetes. So if you could do a clean slate, here's the recipe.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it that way, but for lack of a better term, here's the recipe.
Mm-hmm.
What is that recipe for that
Mm-hmm.
good health?
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about some of those things
Oh,
earlier, the kinds of things that you were.
that's a strong one. And the reason why I would say that's a strong one, because like, and what I've learned with Western medicine is they literally put a lot of people in categories. So like I was just
Sure.
saying a minute ago, taking the time to learn your body. So everyone is going to have an individual recipe. But to kind of sum it up, what I think is you don't have to completely eliminate starch and sugars. That's really really hard. So you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
completely eliminate that. Just scale back on that, maybe 10% of your diet if you can. It could be the sugar and the starch, which should be 0, but 10% is good. And incorporate certain herbs, because if it's been years of where we've been eating starch and meat, our body is already at some imbalance. So it's not going to be, okay, today I'm eating vegetables, I'm taking my teas and I'm herb. It's going to take years of repair to get our body back on somewhat type of balance. And since we're living in this American lifestyle and this American diet, it's surrounded by all this stuff. I personally think incorporating teas and herbs, even if you're not diabetic, it's in your bloodline, to go ahead and start just incorporating those. But cutting back on
Yeah.
starch and sugars and meat will help you
Is-
change it, doing certain herbs. But once again, everyone's going to have their own personal recipe.
So just so I'm clear, you do not consume meat,
I do consume fish and chicken. Yes, I do.
fish and
I
chicken.
just
I'm just asking because I'm
consume it
working
in
my way
smaller
toward
portions.
that. I'm working my way toward
Hmm.
that. It's not easy. I told Queen Unique
Oh
was just on here a
yeah.
second ago, and I am like trying to get to that place. So
Hmm.
I want to ask you something
Oh,
because
oh
I
yeah.
have come to the conclusion
Hmm.
that we don't get it.
Hmm.
So every time someone says, cut back
Hmm.
on the sugar, cut back on the sugar, there is a
Hmm.
misconception of what that means. Jacob, somehow when you just came in, it's creating an echo. Okay. It's creating, there's a misconception of when somebody, so people are like, you mean like sugar, like the white sugar in my canister right there? Like I just don't eat that. Okay, I can eat less of that. But they don't understand how other things
Mm-hmm.
process. So if you are able to give a little insight on, hey, it isn't just the white cane sugar that's in your, little canister on the table. Sugar means many things. And if you could just give a couple of examples to help people understand what equates to
Mm-hmm.
sugar or processes to sugar.
Wow, it's well, let me start here. There are some natural sugars that our bodies can handle, like with fruits or agave, but we also got to be mindful of those because our bodies are so sensitive we can't even handle a heavy consumption of fruits like water. We love watermelon, a lot of people do, and I know I do, but that's one thing that turns into sugar very easily. So breads, pastas, all that stuff turns into sugar. So and that's why that's I'm sorry, I can't even get out, but that's always been a touchy subject. Like, well, what do you mean I can't do
Mm-hmm.
this? A lot of people tend to back away, like you said, and that's why I came up, not to bring my products back in it, but that's why I came up with a regimen where, yes, I want you to stop, that's the goal, but if you just can't stop, if you can start incorporating certain things that will help your body balance out its insulin level. So
There you go.
beers, like I said, pastas, bread, white sugar, all of that stuff, it turns into your body turns into sugar. And with the meat, it just turns into
Sugar
acidic
meaning
and just
glucose,
builds
right?
plaque, and your body can digest it. So that's a whole nother journey. But
Sugar meaning
yes,
glucose, right? Your
but
glucose
once
levels
again, we got to
are
remember
increased.
we do need a little bit. Yeah, yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jacob, I don't know if you can, if you're able to speak now or not. I'm just going to quickly summarize that we have a beautiful, beautiful person, a beautiful spirit on here trying to give some knowledge,
Oh
some of the
wow,
simple
thank
things that we all
you.
overlook. And listen, by the way, earlier you said, I don't want to sound like I'm pushing my product. Well, guess what? This is your show.
Mm-hmm.
This is your floor. Go ahead and say what you got to say. If there's something
Yeah,
that you have, if there's
yeah.
something you have to help with this issue that
Mm-hmm.
is so prevalent in our
Yeah.
community, this is your moment, sister. Like, share
Mm-hmm.
that. But I think the key message you're giving us is A, this is a real thing. B, we've got to stop doing so much of the things that cause this.
Mm-hmm.
You're not saying don't eat any bread at all. What you are saying, if I can summarize, Jacob, maybe you agree, is that
Exactly.
Sophie is saying balance. We need balance and discipline. Is that okay to say, Sophie? Balance and some discipline to ensure that we have the proper diet and our
Yeah,
body can process this right.
definitely.
You there with us, Jacob?
So can you hear me?
Yes.
We can, yes.
Okay, so the balance and discipline, cause I've been one that has struggled with that, but I find in losing the weight, as far as being a diabetic, a lot of more healthy stuff as far as like Brussels sprouts, all type of greens, and a lot of water. When I say a lot of water, I'm talking about like a gallon and a half a day. A lot of water. So when you're urinating, you urinate all of the bad stuff out, and that water is breaking down the particles of the stuff that stick to your blood sugar. And I find that in exercising, because a lot of times, a lot of people can't maintain they can't maintain their blood sugar because they don't even sweat. You know,
Mm.
you really with that diabetes, you got to be very active, and so that vitamin D that you're getting, and you're sweating those toxins out your bodies, that helps your blood sugar a lot. And with the blood sugar, if you stay stagnated and you sit down too long, those foods that you normally eat, it cause your legs to swell and cause your feet to swell, and that's when you have that blood sugar reactivating with the high blood pressure, which is not a healthy combination at all.
Hmm. So,
Make
and Jacob, you said it all. You said a
Could
lot.
I say something on that?
Go
What you were
ahead.
just saying about like your okay about your ankle swelling. And that's another thing that I tell people: the process of elimination. If you know, hey, I notice my ankles swell when I eat much of this. I notice is that's why I encourage people to do like take time to really get to know your body. Because what started this movement for me is my friend into a diabetic coma and dying at the age of 4. And now one of my
Mm,
great aunts, and she's in her 70s, she's had diabetes since she was in her 30s, but she's here. So his blood, and he was a Hispanic, so his blood level was just a little bit more sensitive. So that's why I was saying I can't say, well, do this and do this, because your bloodline may be a little more even more severe to this type of processed food. So take the time out. Man, my ankle's swell. I'm getting tired this week. What have I been doing differently? And almost keep a journal so you'll know, like, okay, I can't eat
yeah.
this. And if I do eat it, eat it in very small amount. Incorporate herbs, to balance it back up. But I just wanted to tap in and say something when he said about his ankle swelling. That's another thing. Somebody else ankles may not swell
Really
as
good
easily as
stuff.
yours. Just learn your body and what you're putting in your mouth.
Mm. Jacob, it's really interesting some of the stuff you were saying. You too, Sophie. It's funny because you would like to think that something like eating, which we have total control of, what we pick up in our
Mm-hmm.
hand and put in our mouths, we have total control over it.
Yes.
However, we don't control it like we should, to the point where people look at things like
Mm-hmm.
diabetes as such a problem for our overall community
Mm-hmm.
that we have that much difficulty, just this hand to mouth control.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what suggestions you may have
Mm.
just for that,
That.
for mental, because sometimes
Yeah.
I think it's a
Yeah.
mindset. So is there anything, Jacob, you
Mm.
yourself or even you, Sophie, can speak to about
I
the
agree.
mindset that lets this get out of control? I think there's a
well,
delay, but
I personally
well,
think
I
it has
think
a
the
lot to do with tradition. My mama did this. Oh, okay.
how about this? How about we have Jacob go first?
okay. So the mindset, you got to have
Okay.
a mind that, okay, if this can kill me, um, I want to live, and so with wanting to live, I have to change my eating habits, change my, and I'm gonna just say about older black men and younger black men. A lot of us are stubborn. We're set in our ways. We don't want to control our eating habit because, let's face it, we used to eating what tastes good, and
That's true.
a lot of the healthier food don't taste good. We think it's nasty. We think it tastes like cardboard, and so to really change your eating habit, man, you definitely got to keep yourself in prayer because you can't change them yourself. You definitely got to ask God to give you direction, and you definitely got to have a regiment, a strict plan that you stick to. It's it's more like wanting to be a dynamic running back in high school, but all the dudes are better than you. So during the off season, you got to work so hard, to where you know that you're you're creating a boundary that can't be failed. So with the diabetes, it's very similar to a mindset of a film director, a mindset of an author. So you got to think in your mind that you can do it, that you can get rid of this blood sugar, no matter what it takes, you're going to do it. Because let's face it, that blood sugar causes strokes, heart attacks, and then when they put you on a lot of medicine, sometimes that medicine can give you anxiety and it makes you really depressed. So you're taking depression pills, you're taking insulin, you're taking metformin, and your blood sugar hasn't went anywhere because you're stressed out. So it's steady rising along with your blood sugar and your high blood pressure, and that's a no-no. When
Mm.
those two intertwine with one another, it's called hell on wheels. That's an awful feeling, because
Wow.
I have I have seen, some of my closest friends, man, they tell me all the time they struggle with it. And I was like, Jacob, that's why I'm constantly in the gym about 5 days a week. No matter how tired I be, no matter if I don't work 12 hours, I gotta go to the gym because I feel
Mm.
like exercising and the way I change my eating habits, that's going to keep me alive with this blood sugar. And so it's got to be a mindset. Mindset is everything, because once you have the mindset, you can create a regiment that gets you to the next level. And so I just say, and there's a lot of all natural stuff that can help you as well. And I'm sure that Queen Sophie is going to talk about some of those all natural products that me and her discussed on the telephone. So, but mindset is everything when it comes to any health issue. Any
You
health
want?
issue, mindset is everything. So I'm gonna give Queen Sophie the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, um, Queen Angie, you on here with us, and I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because me and you talked about a personal issue with this diabetes of yours, and we was talking about older men and older black men, and how
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they can be so stubborn, and they won't even listen to the children. And so, I'm glad you came on so you can give us your insight, and we can continue to educate each other and grow as one.
Absolutely. Sophie, tell us more about this hand to mouth mindset that we can control it, but we're not. What's up with that? You got the answers, right?
Hey,
Talk to us
listen,
about Sophie. Talk to
listen.
us about that from your
Well,
perspective.
what I wanted to
Well,
say
from
is
my
to
perspective,
piggyback
Oh
this
no,
on
I'm
what he was
sorry,
mindset.
Jacob. I
saying.
was saying Sophie.
Okay.
Oh, Sophie. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So what I think about the mindset, a lot has to do with tradition. My mom and my daddy ate this way, it's just passed down, and it tastes good. And it was funny when he was just saying healthy food or good food don't taste good. That's what we starting at now. So that's the mindset. We already thinking it doesn't taste good, because to me that's a lie. My food always tastes good. I was a vegetarian for 6 years, and the food was delicious. And what made me stick with it, because at first it was a little boring. Like, I'm not going to be able to stick with this until I started seeing my food is eating how I used to eat. If we see our food with, if we use vegetables with how we would send some slab of ribs or whatever you choose to eat now, you will see that it doesn't taste that bad. And if we focus on the main goal is to get full, a lot of us are using food for pleasure and not forgetting it can still be a pleasurable experience, but at the end of the day, eating is just to satisfy the hunger and to satisfy the nutrients in your body. So we getting caught up in the pleasure, and that's what's
Wow.
making us eat all this crazy stuff because it tastes so good. But what we don't realize
Ooh.
is eating healthier food, it tastes really good, but we have to give it a chance. So I think more educational classes on, maybe cooking classes, will help a lot of people to see that, what, hey, I could do this. This is not bad. It tastes pretty good. So that's what interesting that he says. A lot of people are using food for pleasure, and not forgetting we're supposed to eat for nutrition.
Sophie, we're losing you. Your signal's going out as you're talking. You still there?
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, we lost you a little bit toward the end.
Okay.
You were killing it though, girl. You you were on a roll
Okay.
about healthy food is good. We need some cooking
Yeah.
classes. What we need? What we need to tell people because it is good. I was like, maybe we should just
Yes.
let her preach. Maybe we should go off camera and let her preach this one right here.
Right.
Hey, listen, we got a
Get a
comment.
sermon in.
Jacob, I don't know if you are able to get to the controls or not. I'm just trying to support where I can.
Yeah.
I see some comments
Yes.
in the. Okay.
It says emotional attachments, control of emotion plays a part of eating habits. Family recipes are emotional attachments. The potato chip company designed the chips to satisfy
Yeah.
a physiological
Hmm.
state of mind. The body response to a crunch different than
Hmm.
chewing experience, not just hunger and taste. It's a war. It's a war against the unaware mind. Woo!
Um, so I'm gonna throw that up there for you so that you can see it, Sophie. You can see what was being said, but it was I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. I don't know if it's Perot or Perot, but just adding some more commentary or some color commentary to this idea of
Yeah.
what exactly is going on. Why are we not having or um, exhibiting the level of control necessary to remain healthy? How has food, taken over so much? But there's all these things coming into play. And you just said something that was really interesting. Food is really to support our living. Our bodies need fuel, but it's become pleasure. And don't get me wrong, I like,
Hmm.
I really, really
Hmm.
like certain kinds of ice
Yeah.
creams, and I can't really mess with that. But somehow I find myself eating them. Right, Jacob? We can run down a list. I love me some daggone sweet potatoes, some candy yams. Don't get me started. Right, there are just things that we
Hmm.
all like, and yams is at the top
Oh
of my
yeah.
list, baby.
Hmm.
So how do we say I can have some of that,
Yeah.
but I can't
Hmm.
have all of that? And
Well,
then add the water, right, Jacob? A gallon and a
right,
half of water.
right, right. So let's just take it some years back when we wasn't able to eat what we want. Let's take it back, until the slavery times. Okay, so the black woman in the kitchen was a beast at what she did. She made something out of nothing and made it taste so great till it was phenomenal. And so with the herbs and spices that she may have used back in the days, it just carried out from, bad eating habits are a generational thing. It's not just something that you wake up and do. And so with that being said, cooking with the
Hmm.
sugars, the herbs, the spices, um, cutting the sweet potatoes and putting the sweet
Mm,
potato peelings in there with some water and absorbing the water and using that water in a mason jar, putting it in the refrigerator, and you're saving that water for something else that you can just splash it over to make
Hmm.
that sweet potato taste come out of it. So yeah, black women was magicians. And
mm,
so and that was talked down from generation to generation. So we're used to cooking and we taste everything before we even eat it. So you're tasting that sugar intake before you eat. And when you eat, you're tasting it. And somebody got some sweet potato pie, coconut pie, chocolate cake. So you're eating sweets about 3 times in 3 hours. And
mm,
so that's still affecting your blood sugar. It ain't just start happening, it's been happening. But back in the day, they worked in the sun. And so they was able to sweat those toxins out. And it wasn't as plentiful as it is right now because people
mm,
really work hard and they sweated a lot. So the more you sweat, the more
Hmm.
those toxins come out your pores and that sweat. Because I was always told, my pops always told me, if a man stops sweating, then something will go bad. Either
mm,
the high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, the diabetes, the Crohn's disease. Like,
Hmm.
so people back in the day sweated more. Because I'm thinking, I had one granny that lived to 88, and the other one lived to 91. That's a long time to live,
mhm,
and I can't tell you that they ate broccoli and Brussels sprouts. Like my grannies ate what they wanted to eat, but they live almost to be 100 years old. So we have to ask ourselves, what did they do with their bodies to make them live so long? How active was they? Like I can remember my granny in a big straw hat. My granny was like 70 some years old, still playing a garden. I'm talking about 10, 12, 13, 14 rows. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I'm talking about the cabbages and the collard greens and the tomatoes and the peppers and
Come on,
the
Granny.
string beans, the squash, and just and she had us out there with the bucket. Y'all come and pick these vegetables. Yeah. And so I think nowadays, people don't get enough, vitamin D. They don't sweat those toxins out the pores. So, and if that stuff is staying stuck into you, it's just building up and it's building up and it's building up. And after a while, something gonna explode. And that's
Yeah.
when a person who never had diabetes or high blood sugar before, all of a sudden they gotta take insulin 3 times a day.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what then, Jacob? I mean, I guess to Sophie, so I understand you have products, right? You have products or things that you were going to talk about today. And I want to make sure I'm clear about what those are. You mentioned teas, but I don't know if that was your tea that you talked about. What were some of the products that can help have a healthier lifestyle, the ones that you yourself offer? I think there's a delay in her hearing.
Kind of, was that question for me?
It was for you, yes. Yes.
Okay, could you say it again, please?
Sure. Just trying to
Okay.
understand. You talked about a little earlier some things that you offer,
Mm-hmm.
that your products, and we want to hear about those. I want to make sure that we give enough
Mm-hmm.
highlight to that. What are some of the products that we can take advantage of to help
Mm-hmm.
ensure that we are healthier?
I, I think I got most of. So, I have 3 different teas that I currently offer and capsules that are my highlighters when it comes to helping people with managing their diabetes or if they have issue with their diabetes. One of my teas is called Mellow Tea. A lot of people with diabetes have nerve pains, like achy pains, sharp pains in their leg and in their foot, sometimes in their hands. So this, and sometimes it makes it hard for them to sleep. So he relaxes them and helps them with their nerve pain and just gives the overall body relaxation. I have another tea called Very Berry Tea, and it's a combination of 3 different berries. These all natural, and I grind them up myself and put them in the tea bag. Helps lower your blood sugar levels. So, like, say if you've eaten too much sugar that day or too much starch, this will help kind of give you somewhat of a balance those symptoms that comes along with when your blood sugar drops or when it's too high.
What's the name of that
So
tea?
I also have a capsule. Third tea is called bitter melon tea. Bitter melon tea is a bitter melon, and bitter melon is a fruit that's grown in Asia and Africa and in the Caribbean. You can find it at a lot of grocery stores. I also recommend people to try that, to get it in a fresh version and cut it up and boil it and add it to a soup or make your own tea. But that's also a very,
Hmm.
very powerful fruit that helps with diabetes, and a lot of Middle Easterns use this particular fruit almost every week. Because if I don't know if you ever noticed, like an Indian or Asian diet is really heavy in rice. So a lot of them, they incorporate fruits like the bitter melon so they can continue to eat this type of stuff and not develop the type of diseases we have. So the stuff that we're eating is bad, and I'm not encouraging people to go cold turkey. Just start incorporating things that will help our body fight off, because that's all we're doing. Our body is fighting off disease, and so this stuff provides our body assistance to help balance out our insulin levels.
like the bitter melon, so they can continue to eat this type of stuff and not develop the type of diseases we have. So the stuff that
I think we're getting a
we're eating
follow-up
today, I'm not encouraging
comment.
people
I'm
to
not
go
sure. It's
cold
like
turkey.
Sophie's repeating.
Start incorporating things that will
It's so weird. It's so weird. But no, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I put it up really quickly so that people could kind of see that the mellow tea, the bitter
Okay,
melon tea. You said another one as well. But the idea here is you can still manage, even if you make the mistake
berry
of
berry.
having too much sugar. Berry, that was the other one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can do something in the moment to help
Mm-hmm.
adjust and to help manage and stabilize your blood sugar level, which is important to do. Very important to do. All right. There was something
Definitely,
else I wanted to say.
definitely,
Oh, I want to add an element, and I know we're at 11 o'clock. So
definitely.
Jacob, tell me whether or
Yep.
not we need to stay on, or if it's okay to stay on, or stop, or what we need to do.
We got about
Um,
we actually got about 30 more minutes.
okay. So I want to add another element because, and this one's from me. Something I noticed that where my mistake comes in. So based on my life, my very corporate life, um, and I have a little girl, and she's 8. And sometimes I am just running and gunning, and I am up at 4:30, and sometimes I'll go to sleep and then wake back up and work some more, and it's just, or I travel for work as well. And so I find myself doing the quick and easy sometimes. And the quick and easy is not always healthy. And so I'm always like, gosh, what am I teaching her? Like, oh man, I need to get better at meal planning or meal prepping, and I just can't seem to get that regimen going. So anyway, just thoughts around that, because sometimes your lifestyle, you find yourself grabbing something real quick, or picking up Chick-fil-A a lot, or grabbing this or grabbing that. And I don't know what your comment would be, but I just wanted to share that because sometimes the circumstances, I got to get something real quick. I'm not preparing. I ain't preparing and seasoning anything. I just need to grab something. And that's a part of my problem. I know she's probably listening to the rest of the comment.
What I yeah, just finished it. Just finished. So what I want to say, that goes back to what I was saying earlier about how our bodies are not designed for American lifestyle as well as the food. But it's no way around it. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a fight. We're fighting against the American lifestyle to stay healthy. So you're going to have to make it almost mandatory where Sunday, not on your schedule, Sunday mornings, we have to do meal prep. You can make it fun with your daughter so she could, design her own little meal boxes for the week. But you where, okay, live. And it's like, that's why we go down the easy route, and that's why we end up getting sick and dying. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, unfortunately. So, but you can make time. If you really wanted to, you can make time. And we have so many different things out here nowadays for us to do this meal prep so easily. So I do mine every Sunday, and I just have to do it because I know if I don't do it, it's going to be, oh, I can get some fries, or I can get this. No. So they got it designed so it can be easy. It can be convenient for us, so we can eventually come right back to them and get on their medication. We have to fight the medicine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, you said that we're fighting against a lifestyle to stay healthy. Now, that says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That says
Yeah.
about 3 billion words in my head right now. So let's really chime in on that lifestyle we're fighting
Oh,
against, and why have we been fighting against it for so long, and how can we overcome that lifestyle to go onto a more righteous type lifestyle?
I think went out on me.
Oh, did you not hear it?
I didn't hear half of your question.
I said you're saying that we are
No.
fighting against a American lifestyle to stay healthy. And I said, why have we been fighting that lifestyle for so long? And how
Mm-hmm.
do we
Mm-hmm.
overpower and overcome that lifestyle to get to get to the level of a
Mm-hmm.
righteous lifestyle? Because
I think we've been fighting that lifestyle because that's all we know. I mean, that's what this is. This is our world in a sense. I think I'm back on. I think we've been fighting this lifestyle so we can eat and pay our bills and be able to function. So it's almost like we go along with the flow, the system they have designed, so we can survive. It's all about survival. So we will put off things that are dear to us so we can make sure we're there for the 9 to 5, so we can be a dedicated worker, so we can pay our bills, so we can eat. That's all we're focused on. And they want us to keep this is once again my personal opinion. They just want us to keep our head down and just
Mm-hmm.
work. And in that lifestyle, we sick because we're just constantly focused on how we can make our job better because we need this money. But if we can find a way, and this may be a fairy land, if we can find a way to keep coming together and bringing our resources together, maybe we don't have to really be so stressed out or tied to that lifestyle. We can have a little bit of freedom because we're all working together, not dependent on them. But it's because we want the money. I'm a I do it as well. I put off what's dear to me, even when it comes to my health sometimes, because I want that check. So that's what I think.
So, how about if we look at it in this format? This is how I looked at it. A lot of times, the spiritual form of changing a lifestyle to be righteous, to eat healthy, and to live. Um, it's a it's kind of like of a new journey. It's kind of like you know the story of King David or the story of Hezekiah or how a lot of times they had to change from what they was doing to really walk in a new vessel of life. And so when you're changing for something that you've been doing for the last 25, 30 years or that you've been doing since you came out the womb, because a lot of times that addiction comes from when we're in the womb because it depends on how your mother ate when she carried you on the foods that you're going to like or what you're going to crave. And so if she ate a lot of unhealthy foods, that's what a child is going to crave. But if she ate healthy foods, because I know kids who have never drunk milk, never ate a piece of candy, and they were some of them my friends for a long time, and their lifestyle is so crazy. And I look at them now, and I'll be like, bro, you never change your eating habits, man. Like, I had a homeboy who took a sip of soda and he was sick for a whole week because he hadn't drank soda in 20 years.
Mm.
So, so, but he told me his lifestyle from what he used to eat, it was more of a spiritual journey for him. He said his mind was not cluttered, his thought patterns was clear. The way he perceived people was better. His judgment wasn't cloudy. And he said it was such a spiritual and a righteous walk for him. He said that he wished that our brothers and sisters can be inside of his head to see what he's thinking since he's took that spiritual journey from, the right eating habits, conducting himself with the right people, and just understanding who he was made to be. But
Mm-hmm.
this man was a diabetic that, took insulin 3 times a day, and now he takes no insulin at all. He has not. He used to take over 11 medicines. Now he's not on any medicine.
Wow.
He's remarkable, man. Remarkable. Goes to the gym three times a week for the last 15 years. He goes to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, so he's very disciplined, man. I told him he need to be some type of coach. For real, for real.
Yeah.
For real, for real. Because I said that the way you're disciplined, the youth really needs you and adults need you. Because let's face it, a lot of these adults are the most undisciplined people known to man. Reckless, train wrecks. You know what I mean? And so if the mother and father is a train wreck, what is that going to do for the intermediate youth? The kids and stuff coming up through their teenage years, coming from elementary to middle school, going to teenage, but they always see their mom and dad a little reckless. Oh yeah, they folks been together for 25 years, but the lifestyle is so reckless. You know, um, they just drink 3, 4 Pepsis every day. Mom always eating chips and ranch and craziness. So they haven't been seen. Not even just the eating is not disciplined, but how they talk to one another, how they conduct yourself. Because when you have any type of sickness or when you develop a sickness, your stress level has to be not high. You have to be at peace. And when you're on medication, if you're not at peace of mind, excuse me, that kind of really affects your well-being and how and the next level that you're gonna go to. Because nobody wants to be sick, nobody wants to be on medicine, but a lot of people develop anxiety and depression when they start taking medicine, especially a lot of diabetics and a lot of people that have high blood pressure. They develop a lot of anxiety. And so, those teas that you was telling me about, how it can calm your nerves, how it can put you at a peaceful place, how it can help you get the rest that you've been needing. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people that's on medication don't rest well at all. They don't rest well at all. And some are up in the wee hours of the night and they sleep all day. You know what I mean? But we wasn't made to be up all night. We was made to rest when the sun go down. You know what I mean? That's a part of that spiritual sleep. You know what I mean? So, and people don't understand that there is what you call a spiritual sleep. You know, your spiritual sleep conducts a part of your spiritual healing. So I'm glad that you got these teas. So tell us more about these teas and where we can get them at and what they have done for you thus far.
Could be a delay.
I think I caught what have they done for me?
I
And where?
said, tell us about the teas, where we can get them, and what they have done for you thus far, and what they have done for some of your clients as well.
Okay. Well, as far as the teas, like I said, if I have bad days, I'm not a diabetic, but it runs heavy, heavy, heavy in my family. So I know if I
Mhm.
make too many bad decisions, I can possibly on the other side. So when I do eat bad on some days, or I don't feel too good, I drank some of my teas and they help me feel better, because you can kind of tell when your blood sugar is too high or too low. Your body will tell you by giving you off some type of sluggish symptoms, or you urinating too much, or you'll feel a difference in your body. So
Mhm.
personally, they help me. It helps me relax, helps immediately help put me to sleep. My pills, I take those, and it'll be days if maybe I go out of town and I have a couple of drinks and I have a good time and I know that my body cannot normally process that. So I would take these capsules, just one, and it would help balance out how I feel. It helps not with TMI, but it helps with your bowels. A lot of people have problems with their bowels, but it helps with your bowels. It helps with your bowels. It helps with your hormonal issues, your anxiety. It helps with your mental state. It helps with your energy levels. So I take it on a regular, even though I don't have diabetes, because I want to avoid it because it runs so heavy in my family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then.
So
So
where can we get
go
them, right?
right, right.
Oh, I'm not sure who's talking.
Sophie, where can we get them? Where can we get the teas or the pills?
Currently I'm operating off my Instagram page, so I can give you my Instagram number, well, my Instagram, you DM me and I go from there.
Okay.
Go ahead. Can you go ahead and say it? Your Instagram page?
Yep, it's at F underscore CK diabetes.
Okay.
Okay.
Love it.
So, Queen Pierce, is there any other things you want to talk about? I
Thank you.
mean, concerning that the diabetes and people that are diabetic, and people that is just going through it mentally, because when you become diabetic, it kind of puts you in a mental space that you wouldn't normally be in, because you're not on medication now, but now you're on metformin, now you're taking insulin. So let's like, is there any type of questions that you would like to chime in on, or is it some information that you would like to give us? Being that you dealt with, a family member that is diabetic, and and I will tell you, people that are diabetic, some of them are hard headed as hell, and that's fact.
Ooh. Okay, first thing I want to do is ask Sophie, is that correct?
Um,
If it's not, we'll fix it. But it was kind of hard to hear you as you were saying it because you were cutting out.
that is correct. That's correct.
Okay. All right. So I get it. F diabetes, right? On IG. So as far as this is tough. My dad, it was my dad that was, or that is, the big discussion for me. He was living here with me, and it just got too much to manage. I mentioned all the things, right? But it was just too much to manage. And yes, he was very hard-headed. And then when we added the element of dementia, then he was not remembering, and he was repeat eating, and so then his blood sugar was skyrocketing, and I didn't even know he was repeat eating, but he was almost like repeat eating and secretly eating. It was weird. It was a lot going on there. And I don't know, my mom's diabetic, but she is extremely disciplined, so you would almost never know. My brother's diabetic, and he's been in and out of what's good, what's bad. My sister's diabetic, so that leaves my older brother and me, who are not. And I'm kind of like you, Sophie, where you're like, it's in my family. So I've got to do some things to make sure that it doesn't touch me or my daughter. And right now, I'm not doing a great job at, following a very healthy path. And that's what I have to slow down and say, like you said, there is time. I do have time. It's how I prioritize my time. And do I prioritize it toward health is the question. That's what I need to do. So I'm just talking, but I've got some things to correct for sure.
I mean, and I think a lot of times in our communities, the black communities, that's that. Like, take me for instance. Um, I'm diabetic, but I didn't get diagnosed till I was like 34 years old. So the the female doctor told me, she was like, "You weren't born with it, so you ain't gotta die with it." She was
Yeah.
like, So when I first went and seen her, my blood sugar was about 11.7. I went and seen her maybe 2 weeks ago. My blood sugar is 7.2.
Oh, is this your that what's that called again? That what's that measurement he's referring to? Your A1C?
Yeah. So she asked me, she's like, "How did you go from 11.7 to 7.2?" She was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "You see it?" She was like, "I've never seen nobody do it that fast." And I got people who came to me for years.
Mhm.
I got people for years. She was like, I was like, well, a lot of green stuff, a lot of water, not eating anything after 7 o'clock, you know, and that's how I dropped a lot of weight, because I don't eat after 7 o'clock at all. If I eat something after 7 o'clock, it's maybe some almonds or a banana, but that's it. So, but the most difficult thing for me is putting that potato chip down. But
Mm.
I've 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 did a lot better than I have over the years. And so, but and my mom always tell me, she's like, my God, how do you drink a gallon and a half of water a day? Woo! She was, it's, it's, it comes so natural to me now because I've been doing it for some years now. So, I'm gonna have my water like every day. So,
Good stuff.
I, I just say that this show is great education. It's uplifting.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
something that we needed to set in the black community, and I'm so glad that we got to have you on the show. And I do apologize for the technical issues earlier, but Queen Pierce came and saved the day for me, and then after she came to
No
save
problem.
the day, I finally got back right. So we're here, but I would definitely like to continue at a later date with a part two, um, life life after
Okay.
curing diabetes. So because it's a lot of people that had it, but they don't have it anymore. So what is life like after you don't have the disease anymore? And so I think that'll be an interesting conversation as well to talk about
Awesome.
what it's like when you had it and what it's like now that you don't have it. So, I'll definitely be contacting you, Queen Sophie, to let you know when we're gonna do that. And I'll be getting at you on your Instagram because I need that. I got family members that need that. And I'll be, definitely calling you about them
Oh,
teas because,
awesome.
because a lot of my family members, including me, I like coffee. So, but I definitely can substitute that with the tea,
Okay.
especially if it's going to be healthy for my body, healthy for my intake. And, I feel like I can use it for, my morning upliftment and I can use it for my nightcap as well. So, but I do thank you for coming on and it's been a pleasure. And don't be a stranger. Don't be quiet. Keep
Yes.
spreading that education. Keep spreading that love because what you're doing is love, and it's the love in the spiritual form because you're helping your people understand that there's something that can help them
Yeah.
when they become diabetic. And so, I salute you for that, Queen. I sure do.
Awesome. This is good. Thank you so much, Sophie.
So, Sophie, is there anything that you want to tell the
Thank
audience?
you. Well, health is one of my favorite topics, so I could talk for another 3 hours. So, but I just really appreciate you guys having me on. I enjoyed it very much, and I just wanted to say, hopefully, I'm not breaking up too bad, but I just wanted to say I'm not sure the guy's name that made the comment about the crunch. I seen a documentary where there are actually scientists that do create certain colors and flavors and textures for us to be addicted to it. So that goes back to it is a fight to survive in this American lifestyle, and I just don't want people to forget that it's worth it. It's worth the fight, but don't think it's going to be easy and don't give up.
Okay. Okay. Well, you heard it first from, the advocate, the community activist of, what she said. She says, fuck diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
And she stands behind, hey, man. When she first sent me that, when she sent me that logo, Angie, I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what? This sister is screaming that like she's marching with the Black Panthers. You know what I mean? So, I'm like, okay, then. Well, she stand behind it firmly.
Hey, I
So,
like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was like, you know what? If you're gonna use that word in front of something, use it in front of diabetes. I can understand that. So, what I mean. I say bravo.
Yeah.
I say salute. You know, and yeah. So we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and this is the
Thank
Chatterbox with
you.
your
Thank
tutor,
you.
King Jacob, with Queen Pierce and Queen Sophie, man. And we just was chopping it up. There's a lot of insight, a lot of education, and don't be a stranger. So I'm pretty sure that I'll be following her. And Queen Sophie, you got to put some of these posts on Facebook so I can share them, man, because
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of my church folk, a lot of my homeboys,
Okay.
a lot of these younger athletes that suffer with diabetes. So you got to start posting on your page, man, so we can get that word out there.
Okay.
about these health conditions and how you can help them, and the signs that they should be looking for, or if they're on the borderline of becoming diabetic. There's signs that you see first. So, we need
Mm-hmm.
all their insight. So, the
Mm-hmm.
Chatterbox, we here every Friday, 10 p.m. We're going to do it and
Mm-hmm.
keep doing it. You can't stop us because, if we blessed by the best,
Okay.
that's all that
Mhm.
matters. So, peace and
Awesome.
blessings. And
Mm-hmm.
ladies, I'll talk to you soon.
See you later.
The one only.
That's right.
Okay. Peace.
Peace. Peace.